Hey everybody, Matt here with the most adequate collection, and today I wanted to just show off a few hockey cards from my collection. Some stuff that I pulled and got back when it was released, so it would have been 12, 13 years ago. Had in my collection since then. Don't plan on taking them out of my collection anytime soon. But I don't know if there are any cards that you guys have seen yet, so I figured I'd just show them off. I haven't gotten any new stuff recently or anything like that to show off editions, so figure I might as well kind of bring out some of the cards that I've gotten that would look pretty cool that I just feel like showing off to you guys. All of these cards come from 2013, 2014 Panini Prime, which was at the time a high-end release that Panini did. They eventually would come out with Dominion, which was their kind of highest of the high tier, but this was right below it. Prime in hockey, or at least in hockey card collecting, refers to something unique just for that sport. And I believe Panini came up with the term originally. And it refers to the part of the jersey where there's a seam. And it's not really just a seam itself, but it's a seam that matches two different colored fabrics. So it'll be one little swatch on the card that has both a, for example, white piece of fabric and a blue piece of fabric with the thick seam in the middle. It's not quite a patch. I know we have a lot of multicolored patches across all sports, but it was just a way to refer to that piece of the jersey that's pretty unique just to hockey. But the release of Panini Prime wasn't just that. They also did a lot with patches, a lot with autographs, a lot with rookies, a lot with different parts of equipment, and just got really creative with it, and I really liked it. And it kind of just shows you, too, what inflation has done to the hockey card hobby, or just the hobby in general. And it might not be just inflation. I know people will point to the presence of breakers and things like that as far as why prices have gotten so high. But I look back, and I think at the time I paid the same for a box of Prime, which is a one-pack box, as you would pay today for a box of like Topps flagship jumbo baseball. But within Panini Prime, if I remember right, there is like 4 relics, a couple autographs, a few numbered base cards. Everything's serial numbered. Apart from the base cards, everything has either an autograph or a relic with it. And there might have been something with like also is guaranteed like an autographed patch or an autographed jersey card or something like that. But there's a lot of really low numbered things. I know in the past I've shown off my captain's cloth cards. I have 2 of them where they take either the A or the C from the chest of a jersey for a captain or alternate captain. And we'll put half of it in one card, half of it in another, and then in theory, you could stack one on top of the other and make the entire letter from their jersey. Um, but I've got a couple one-of-ones actually from that too, and not from jerseys, but from a different piece of equipment. And 2 players that I'm pretty fond of. One of them is a guy who back then I really became a fan and collector of, and that's Zach Parise. Mostly New Jersey Devils, Minnesota Wild, and I really started collecting him when he signed that big contract with the Wild, I believe in 2013, in the 2013 offseason. It was him and Ryan Suter were the 2 most sought after free agents that year, from respectively forward and defense. And they both signed with the same team, the Minnesota Wild, on the same day with the exact same contracts as far as length, money, and all of that stuff. So it's supposed to be something that would lead to a big boom in production for the Minnesota Wild. And as you know, with Minnesota teams, that doesn't happen. It's one of the few times that I can remember in my fandom that I've seen a Minnesota sports team of any type spend money on the free agent market. It doesn't happen often. It happened then, but it didn't really lead to much more than disappointment, such as the life of a Minnesota sports fan. But I did collect a lot of his cards, and especially once his cards started featuring him on the Minnesota Wild. And I did get one, and I didn't pull this one. I pulled Jamie Benn's version of this card. It is a one-of-one, and I sold the Jamie Benn card, and with the money I got from the Jamie Benn, I added maybe about $40 of my own money to it, and then ended up with this. Prime Skates Extreme, one-of-one for Zach Parise. Now, what Prime Skates does is it, like any other relic card, will take a swatch of fabric from that item, imprint it onto the card, or include it onto the card, and then that's kind of what you have. So there's different versions of this, I think. And it might just be two different versions. I think there's a numbered to 25, which just has a regular piece of the skate fabric, which is still good. It's still something unique and something different. And we don't really see a lot of it. But this, with the one of one, the extreme parallel version of it, it actually takes the logo of the skate and puts the skate logo on there. So in this case, it's the one of one. CCM probably should have looked ahead of time to see what that V signified. It was probably a style of skate, but CCM's the brand. And it looks like this comes from the back of the boot, which is really cool. It looks great. You see all the you see the holes from the threading. I mean, obviously they took all the backing off of it. They unthreaded everything just so they could get that fabric on there. Otherwise, it was, for one, it would be too thick to put into a card, but two, it's also kind of molded to the heel. So in order to flatten it, you had to kind of take all that other stuff from behind it and from around it. But it's still a great looking card. Features Parisi. Got the Wild logo here. Was able to get him in the Minnesota Wild uniform. And these are great looking cards. And it's what I kind of really miss about Panini not being in the hockey card market anymore, is they really paid attention to details on their card design. And what they did, better than what Upper Deck does, I think, is they included a lot of the team colors within the designs itself. So within each set of cards, you'll have the design be the same, but they would still incorporate the team colors into that design, which I thought was really well executed. So here you can see like the green up there up top for the Minnesota Wild, which really kind of coordinates everything together. Now, obviously, with a skate, it doesn't have to be a team color, so it's not as important. But a really clean looking card overall. The swatch looks great, perfectly centered. You got the CCM logo right there, front and center. The threading of the stitching from that leather looks really good, pretty decently centered there too, and just a great looking card overall. And here's a look at the back of it as well. Second card I'm showing comes from the same set, same subset, same insert set, same serial numbering, same everything. And that is of Pittsburgh Penguins forward Pascal Dupuis. Now here's a little bit different in that instead of that CCM logo, you get that big, shiny looking Bauer patch. You've got some coloring on the background, and the cool thing about this, I don't know if you can see, yeah, you can see it there. You've got a Sharpie there, so I'm not sure if this comes from a signed pair of his skates or not, but that might be part of a signature on there. It might not really sure. It doesn't really matter, but it looks great. That patch really sticks out on the card, and the funny thing is you don't see it on this one so much, but I know on the Jamie Benn card that I pulled that I sold for the Parisi, you really could. Because of the thickness of this, it closes down here, but the Jamie Benn one that I had wasn't even closed all the way from that top layer of cardboard because of how thick that swatch was. But this one is great because it adds not only to a great looking card, but it goes with my Pittsburgh Penguins collection. My favorite team, obviously. So it was one I had to get. It's certainly more affordable than a lot of the other players on the Pittsburgh Penguins at that time. And just looks phenomenal. Centered great. It's not like lopsided or anything like that. Just looks fantastic overall. I was very, very happy to add this to my collection. And yeah, it's one that's going to stay in there for a long time. Of course, as I'm sure you can hear as I'm seeing this, a train is going by, but I will make do. Next up is from Panini Prime as well. And the nice... You know, the funny thing about trains is that they sound their horn as they're crossing the track. But usually when they're sounding the horn, if you're there, it's too late anyways. So I don't really understand the purpose of it. But anyways, this one comes from the same Panini Prime set, but a little bit of a different subset. And it's from Prime Colors. These are not numbered as low, obviously, as the one of one, because you can't really go any lower than that. This one in particular is numbered to 26. Others like it have different numberings depending on the size of the patch on the front of the sweater. But it's from Prime Colors. And what Prime Colors does is it'll take the entire front patch of the hockey sweater and cut that up into equally sized pieces and then put that on a card. But they do it in a way that the entire swatch takes up the entire, almost the entire front of the card, apart from the border that are on the sides and top. This one I pulled from a pack, and I was happy to have it because it was a guy who was an important part of the first Pittsburgh Penguins Stanley Cups. But this doesn't have him on the Penguins; it has him on the Islanders, which is also important because he won a few cups with the New York Islanders in the early '80s, and that would be of Brian Trottier. And the beautiful thing here is you get lots of coloring, lots of texturing. You get the logo front and center. You know exactly what it was. There's no mystery about what part of the jersey it came from, and it just frames it beautifully. And like similarly, you can compare it to the Dupuis and the Parisi. You can see how they incorporate team colors into the border and design of the card, and everything just ties together so great. It looks so good. Really clean looking card design, and they did a great job of including everything in a limited amount of space without making it look cramped, and while still giving a spotlight to the fabric that you want to give it to. So you've got the Prime logo up here for the set. You've got his name and team name on the sides of it. You've got the subset on the bottom. You've got a picture of his face. And it doesn't seem cramped. It doesn't seem like they were running out of space. It seems like it was all done on purpose. I mean, obviously it was all done on purpose this way. But it seems like it was executed so well. And it's what I miss about Panini not being in the hockey market anymore. But the nice thing with this card and with the other two is that you can guarantee and determine, and they did so on the wording, that all three of these items were game-used items. So everything was used in a game. And this is about the time when Panini really kind of spearheaded the player-worn movement. They were famous for having their rookie symposium, or whatever they call it at the time, handing a football player 15 jerseys. The player would put on all 15 at the time, wear them for 5 seconds, and then take them off. And then technically you can call it player-worn. But these were actually game-worn items, which is really cool. All three of these items are cards that I'm happy to have, cards that I'm going to stick to for a long time. Not planning on getting rid of them anytime soon. And they're all cards that are going to fit in my display case for a long time. It'll take a lot, and it'll take a while for anything to kind of knock them out. But yeah, I don't really have any new cards to show off, so I figured I'd just show off a couple old ones that I really like. That I don't think you guys have seen yet. So that's all I got for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. See you later.